Excellent business English is not only correct and precise expression. This also applies to using correct idioms and expressions. Especially in business conversations, it is important to know some idioms in order to understand others, to be able to express your opinion correctly and purposefully. Let's take a look at 20 frequently used business idioms, to help you find the ones that are closest to you and more relevant to your field. After the fact. Too late, after something has already happened, completed. For example, Tom is always making excuses, after the fact. Against the clock. Forced to hurry, to get something done, in a very limited amount of time. For example, we will have to work against the clock, to finish our project in time. Agreement in principle. An agreement, where not all the details are worked out. For example, so it turns out that, we have an agreement in principle. Our employees can work on all other details. An offer one can't refuse. A highly attractive offer. For example, a $3,000 raise and a reduction in class load were two advantages the university offered me that I couldn't refuse. Back to the salt mines. Back to one's job or work, especially when it is too hard or unpleasant. For example, well, our lunch break is over. Back to the salt mines. Burn the candle at both ends. To try to work too hard, by always going to bed very late, and getting up early in the morning. For example, most people need to sleep 7 or 8 hours each night, and you're burning the candle at both ends if you always sleep for less than 6. Crunch time? That moment, when you have to work really hard, to finish something or a certain job. For example, it's crunch time. I have 2 colloquiums next week, so I can't join you. I need to study. Cut it fine. To work on a particular task, at the last minute. For example, you're cutting it fine, aren't you? The report should be ready in 2 hours, and you are still working on it. 11th hour. Last minute. Emily will wait until the 11th hour, before starting work, but she always finishes on time. Fish or cut bait. Either continue with an action, or leave it totally. For example, you can ask someone to fish or cut bait, if they repeatedly try to do something they can't do. Flip-flop. Completely change your point of view, or position, to be indecisive. For example, despite wanting to get married secretly from everyone, they flip-flopped by deciding to have a big party. Give and take. The concept of give and take refer to the willingness to accept some of another's ideas, and to give up some of your own. For example, there is always some give and take involved in any successful negotiation. Hobson's choice. A choice among bad options, something that appears to be a choice but isn't. For example, this bus is terrible. Do you want to walk all the way, from the airport to the house? It was Hobson's choice. In the work? Still under development, soon. For example, if you don't like the current project, don't be impatient, the new version is in the work. On the same page. Understanding a fact, situation in the same way. For example, Charles and I are on the same page about marketing strategy. We will clarify the details tomorrow. Out of the loop. Not informed, not included in a process or discussion. For example, you've been out of the loop on the new marketing strategy. Let me inform you. Raise red flags. Something that warns of a trouble, a dangerous or bad situation. For example, there are a few red flags to look out for, in order to keep your company profitable. Take it or leave it. Accept something, especially an offer, or not accept, reject. For example, this is our last offer, take it or leave it. Burn the midnight oil. If someone is burning the midnight oil, they are staying up very late, in order to study, or do some other work. For example, Martin is asleep after burning the midnight oil, trying to finish his article. Up in the air. Unresolved, not yet decided. For example, bonuses are still up in the air, the boss prefers, but he still needs, to get approval from his superiors.